What's up, you guys? It's Yugioh here, coming at you guys with another discussion video, and in this video we're going to be talking about Twin Twister and whether it deserves to be on the ban list and whether it's OP or not. So, to do this, first we have to look at the card, and we have to decide or figure out what the card does. So first, the card is discard one card, then target up to 2 spell and trap cards in the field, and that is the cost. The effect is to destroy them. So what is this? This is essentially the same thing as having 2 MSTs. So why is it important? What's the difference between this and just drawing 2 MSTs? The biggest difference is that you get to draw or discard a card. And so this helps you if you have monsters that like to be in the graveyard. And that is pretty good. And I don't see how this could ever be a replacement for MST, because MST is technically better at just getting rid of cards and being a chainable card. But this is a chainable card that does get rid of multiple back rows and allows you to advance your game state if you have a monster. Where on the other hand, if you're just discarding a card that gets you no value, it's the exact same thing as having 2 MSTs. So Twin Twister is somewhat it's an okay card there. It helps you get rid of the back row. And I think one of the problems right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that there are so many floodgates that just tell your opponent that you cannot play, that Twin Twister is kind of like a needed card. I really think that Twin Twister is a good card right now, and I think that it's needed because there's so much back row decks, and not only that, but it's there to clear pendulum scales as well. But this is where I think that it takes sort of an underwhelming turn, and this is where you're playing against a deck like Clifford, where they not only have pendulum monsters, but they also have back row and floodgates. So for example, your Clifford player opens up with Scout, 3 back row, and a card Demise. And this is why Carved Demise is so busted, and I think Carved Demise needs to be dealt with. So they set 3 back row, they activate Scout, and they activate Carved Demise, and they draw 3 cards. So let's say they draw a monster and 2 more back row. So they set the 2 back row, they summon the monster, they search for the other scale, and they play a scale. So your opponent has 5 back row, a monster, and 2 scales. So they just went +3. They have 8 cards now. So if you draw for turn, you have 6. Even if you have 2 Twin Twisters, you're only going to be left with 2 cards, and your opponent's still going to have 4 cards. So literally, like, you can destroy 4 back row with that. They're still going to have a monster, they're still going to have a back row, and they're still going to have 2 scales. So essentially, and you're going to have only 2 cards to answer that after that. So essentially, the Twin Twister is a very underwhelming card, especially with cards of Carved Demise around. Not only that, but I think that's one of the main problems, is that there's also a lot of just good back row, generic back row right now, with Solemn Strikes and stuff, which is a video for another day. I think Solemn Strike also should get limited, especially because stuff like Heavy Storm is banned and we just don't have it. But that's why we have Twin Twister, and it's good because it's chainable, but at the same time, like we just said, it's kind of underwhelming because it doesn't get rid of all of the problems, like Heavy Storm does, which is why I would rather have Heavy Storm than just Twin Twister. I think it would be much better. But that's a whole nother video for another day. So back on topic here, Twin Twister is starting to irritate a lot of people, and I think that they just don't know how to play around it. For a while there, people were getting used to just setting a lot of back row in their back row decks and getting away with it. And right now we have a card that helps punish that. So I think Twin Twister is completely fine. And for those of you in your back row decks that are having a hard time with Twin Twister, keep saying, oh, getting blown out, there's actually a very simple and effective way to play around Twin Twister, and that's not set all your cards. A good example would be a card like Waboku, okay? So you set Waboku, you pass. Your opponent then attempts to Twin Twister your back row to try to do their OTK. You chain Waboku, and now they just went neg to try to OTK you, and you're not going to die. And they just baited out their Twin Twister with 1 card, and now what you're going to do is you're going to set all your back row, and their Twin Twister is gone. And if they have multiples, then oh, whoop-de-doo, they have multiples, but they're going to have to neg in order to be able to get rid of everything. So in that sense, Twin Twister is still a good card in my opinion. You just have to know how to play around it. You can't just set all your cards and expect to just go, like, just put your helmet on and go. You have to play around with the thought in mind, what if an opponent has Twin Twister, do I get blown out right now? So, this is the next level Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that you guys should definitely be learning. You guys shouldn't be setting 5 and passing, unless you guys are playing Clee Demise. That's actually completely fine. But, if you have like a monster and 4 back row, and you're hoping, I hope I don't get blown out by Twin Twister, if you have a card that's set that you really need, and you're trying to bank that your opponent hopefully doesn't have it, then you're not playing very good Yu-Gi-Oh! You should just be setting the card that you can survive. If your deck can't survive off of like your opponent breaking through your back row, then you're not playing a good deck. to be honest. Like, a lot of decks, they can play through back row, but they can also be defensive. And so if your deck relies on a few back rows sometimes, that's completely fine. But if your deck can't handle getting your your opposing player playing through your back row and then killing you, then maybe you need to try to adjust your deck a little bit to accommodate that more, because good back row helps accommodate big boards. We already know that. It doesn't really accommodate nothing, because back row always loses out to monsters. So I think, honestly, Twin Twister is a completely fine card, and if people have a problem with it, I think they need to readjust their deck and reevaluate the way that they play Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think the Twin Twister is OP? And if you guys have any good reasons on why you guys think it should get limited, or why it is an actual problem card, then let me know, because I'm not going to disagree with it. I just completely see it as something that's necessary for the game at this time, especially with all the floodgates. So thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, take care. Until next time.